welcome back for another conversation around Taoism and all things Taoist in nature. I am Mark, and I'm here with my good friend
Adam, nice to see you.
Adam. How you doing today?
Well, well,
Let me get some philosophy going.
sure. Always in the mood for that.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to talk about number 54 today from the Tao Te Ching. I'm reading today from the Stephen Mitchell translation, but I have another translation here that we can look at to see if anything speaks a little differently and what that might mean. But I'm going to read from this Stephen Mitchell version here. Number 54. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. Her name will be held in honor from generation to generation. Let the Tao be present in your life, and you will become genuine. Let it be present in your family, and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing. How do I know this is true? By looking inside myself.
Hmm. Hmm.
I have
Hmm.
this other version here that is by John H. MacDonald that ends saying, "How do I know this saying is true?" They're talking about all the same things. How do I know this saying is true? I observe these things and see. This one says,
Yeah.
by looking inside myself. But it's all talking
Hmm.
about the same kind of things. I love the way this one starts, though. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be
Hmm.
rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. So it's interesting because we talked about in previous sessions and readings about this idea of grasping too hard and things slipping away.
Hmm.
Well, this is talking about being able to root and grasp onto something so that you don't slip away, right? It's kind of like the
Hmm.
opposite of we try to grasp things and understand things, and it can easily just fly away, slip away, and we can just get confused about it or lose the essence or meaning behind it. But the same thing can happen to us. We want to plant ourselves and root ourselves in something real so that we don't just spin away and fly away like these things that we try to grasp onto. I feel like it's kind of turning it on its head a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like it's also kind of reminding you what the real ground of reality is, which is not you. It's that which kind of comes before, and also the deeper thing, which they call the way or the Tao, right? This deeper existence that we all participate in. And I really like Ursula Le Guin's translation, and she kind of writes a note at the bottom of some of hers. And in this one, she writes this note, says, I follow Whaley's interpretation of this chapter. It is Tao that plants and keeps. The various kinds of power belong to the Tao. And finally, in myself, I see the Tao of self, and so on. So, like, kind of pointing, like, what you're saying is like, instead of grasping onto something external, it's more like remembering that we're grasped by the eternal
All
Tao that
things.
can't be
Yeah.
named, but that we're calling the Tao, right? We're calling the way, which I think all of us have our different ways of how we conceptualize what that really even means. But to me, like that's what this feels like it's rooted in. Like we are part of something much grander that we are rooted in. And when we are able to do that at all these different scales, whether it's our self, our family unit, our community, our nation, all the way up to like the planetary scale, that's where our source of power is because it's the source of all power.
hmm And it kind of helps, I think, in the spirituality world of people looking up and out towards heaven or
Hmm.
God or cosmos or whatever. There's
Hmm.
always this like ascension kind of mentality
Yeah.
going up and out. And oftentimes that can lead to people being very ungrounded. And
Yes.
I like how this is kind of pulling it back down, pulling it back in, and saying,
Yes.
yeah, that stuff is all great and amazing. We need to be aware of it because it's all there, it all exists, it's all part of us. But don't forget what holds us here, too.
Yes.
The more tangible physical plane that we're all very tied to. This is our physical experience. We have the
Yes.
spiritual, cosmic stuff within us and around us, but we are bound in this experience to the physical plane. And let's not forget that. Let's honor that. That would be the yin energy in the yin yang
Mm.
concept. But a lot of people are looking at that more yang outward expression versus the yin inward or downward. And I like how this just hits it from the beginning. Like whoever is planted in that, rooted in that, will be held in honor from generation to generation. Don't aspire to be this like super spiritual person that's out in the clouds all the time. You have to have all those energies swirling around within you, creating that balance and harmony. So that rooting is very important. I like in this version here too, the use of the word present. Let it be present in your family. Let it be present in your country. Let it be present in the universe, bringing us back to that present moment that we talk about
Hmm.
so much.
Hmm.
How do I know
Yeah,
this? By looking inside myself, by observing things and seeing,
by
just
watching what is, which again is
stillness.
that recurring theme of the Tao of the Taoist perspective is like watch the observable phenomena of your life and you'll see the patterns. You'll see the Tao at work. What you were talking about earlier, to me, it's like, in philosophy or in spiritual traditions, it's sort of like that difference between transcendence and immanence, right? Whether the sort of ultimate reality or God, as many people conceptualize, like whether that's a transcendent outside of space and time or whether it's immanent in all things. And I think a lot of spiritual traditions say it's both, right? It's transcendent and immanent. And I think this is what you're describing is like this is making sure people don't forget that immanent piece,
Hmm.
that piece that
Hmm.
like, hey, that divinity is inside. Like we are all participating in life, and there's something really powerful about that. And when you flow with that way, then you're giving your ancestors honor, right? You're kind of flowing in that grander becoming.
Hmm. And future generations
And
too.
all exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what else to say about this.
Might not be much more else to say for this one. This
It's
one is
like,
really hits deep real quick.
yeah, it starts off where, we're probably at this point number 54 out of 81, kind of like two-thirds through the book if you're going from 1 to 81. And it's just, I think it's good to hit it at that point of, because we talk about a lot of esoteric stuff up until this point, and it's like, hey, wait, remember, let's not get too crazy. Let's remember, let's reel it back in for a moment, and let's get a little grounded here. That's part of really any spiritual practice, mind body practice, I'd say, is understanding where the body sits in the plane. So we are tied to this physical plane. Yes, we are standing, we're sitting, we're lying down, however we're doing a yoga or qigong or tai chi kind of practice, but we have this energy that emanates out from us, right? That is not a thing. We talk about things and non-things in Taoism, right?
Mm,
So the body, that's a thing. The practice is a non-thing. The energy is a non-thing, but it's still very much part of the entire practice. And
mhm,
so it's easy to get lost in that stuff, though. When we talk about breath work, we're talking about relaxing and like hearing things around us that we wouldn't normally hear and feeling things around us we wouldn't normally feel and tapping into that energy component around us. And that's easy to get lost in when you're doing these kind of practices. And I've heard this from people saying, wow, I didn't even feel my body during that practice. And I'm like,
mm,
well, you lost focus on what you were doing because
mhm,
you're supposed to feel the body, but you're supposed to feel the breath. You're supposed to feel the spirit. You're supposed to
mhm.
feel all of these things. That's the holistic approach to all of this. But it is easy, I think, in those kinds of mind, body, spirituality circles to lose sight of that. So it's a really good
Right.
reminder here.
Yeah, no, it is, and I feel like that's one of the real advantages of Taoist practice and Taoist teachings that it is so grounded in the physical reality, in the physical lived experience, in nature. I think it gives it a lot of its power, and it also I think is what protects Taoism for being like a lot of other world systems and philosophies of thought, which is like super dogmatic and doctrinal, which it's not.
Yeah, and always looking towards that external
Yes,
person or guide
someone
or
to validate the
guru or
guru. Yep.
whatever. And yeah, Taoism, I love because it doesn't have those idols and those
Not
gods.
really, no.
Look at, I guess you can maybe consider nature the idol, but nature is all things. It is the Tao. We all experience nature, and I'm not just talking about the woods and the trees. Like nature is everything. We are nature. That's something people forget too. This separation of man and nature. We are nature. Everything that exists is part of the natural world. Sure, there's synthetic stuff, but that stuff is still made, right? It still exists in the world. So in some degree, it is part of. nature. But there is obviously this push to going more into synthetic things, the digital world, the synthetic world, and that, of course, is pulling people away from the rooting yet again. So I think this is also a good invitation to take stock of your life, your way of existing, and how much are you detached from the natural way or attached to the natural way, and to just kind of sit with that and think about that because just like it's easy to get lost in the spiritual stuff, it's easy to get lost in the digital world and the synthetic world. And so to step outside, take your shoes off, listen to the wind, listen to the water, the birds, whatever you can experience around you. And that's what he's talking about, observing the things and seeing, right? That's the one of the easiest ways to look inside yourself is to slow everything
Mhm.
down and to get
Mhm.
rooted and to get grounded. It's
Mhm.
one of the fastest ways to really listen to what's going on in yourself is that rooting, that grounding element.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So for anyone who's interested, I encourage you to look up something called earthing or grounding. That's a great physical practice. Nothing that, well, I guess there are some spiritual elements to it, like anything, but it's a great way to just connect more deeply with the earth, with that yin energy, with that grounding energy, and to just help slow down a little bit. It's a fun thing to do. Put your feet in the grass, put your feet in the soil or in the sand or wherever, whatever you got around you. What do you think? Anything else to add?
No, nothing to add other than to say that practice has been really helpful to me. I haven't done it in a little bit. This is nice, convicting reminder to get back into it.
Grounding?
But whenever I have employed that practice, that's been hugely helpful to me, especially when I'm trying to like process a bunch of funky stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you
The
can
earth can
even
take it.
use the earth energy, yeah, to kind of diffuse that or transmute some of that stuff
Yeah,
and process it a little bit better. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Well, we'd love to hear what you all think. Please have some engagement in the comments. We'd love to start a conversation and a dialogue. Until then, like and subscribe. Please share with a friend, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.